Alrighty, everybody, welcome back once more to Cybersec Journey. Um, this is going to be an off the beat path. If you guys watch my, well, first let me get rid of the stragglers. Let me get rid of the people that are going to watch the first 1 minute of this probably, or 30 seconds and leave. Um, if you watch my other videos, this is not going to be any different. This is going to be a long video. Apparently, my people, this is not my choice. My people like it. And by my people, these people right here that you're looking at on Discord, I'm up to like 60 people or so. You see 48 online, 48 offline, 7 online, that's 56, 58. Yeah, we got close to 60 people. Um, and that's about 23% of the subscribers. I got 200. What do I got? Let's just make sure. This grows 250. Well, actually, let's refresh that. Make sure. Come on. I'm up, right upper right corner up here is where I'm watching. Oh, it went down three. Okay, so we lost three. Okay, that's good. We were at 250, now we're at 247. But anyway, um, it's about 23, 25%, you know, of the total subs actually subscribe. Now I understand, there'll be people that come on YouTube that might just find my channel, watch a couple of videos, and see the Discord link and say, you know what, I'm going to join the Discord, but they just don't want to subscribe. For whatever. There's a lot of people that just want to watch videos. They don't want to subscribe. You know, if they might bookmark your website, which is this is what I do a lot. As you can see from my bookmarks up here, and from the various topics that I do, linguistics. You can see right here is one of the TV schedules, assets. My studying, BitChute, AVNs, which is adult visual novels, DTube, Rumble. This over here expands, further to more menus and everything. But I have a lot of stuff. Um, I study a lot of stuff and I get into a lot of stuff and everything. I got 14 YouTube channels, about 130 something websites, and various things. Some of them are porn, some of them are security, some of them are, like I said, almost every topic that I'm in, internet marketing, affiliate marketing. Some of them are just affiliate websites that sell a product. I get a commission for it when they sell, and that's it. But anyway, um, we're here for Carrito. I guess that's how you've been shown name. But anyway, he mentioned mullvad VPN, and I get this a lot. What VPN do I use and everything and all that. Um, for those of you that are still hanging around, I know you're going to leave soon, but let me give you a nugget here. My people get a lot of nuggets that hackers would give you if you ever sat down, you know, for dinner with a hacker for an hour. You would learn a lot. And but you're probably going to be here for another minute or two, and then you're going to leave. But um, we're going to get in more depth into VPNs and the problem with them. But hackers don't use VPNs. The top hackers. Now, I'm talking the top, not the ethical security people. I'm talking pure hackers that hack illegally and never get caught. I'm not the only one, but there's a reason why they never get caught. They don't use these fucking services. And I'm glad I did the research for this because the last time I did this research was, I don't know, um, probably 8 years ago and everything. But yeah, and same with Tor, same with crypto. Don't think because you're on the dark net, you're going to buy some AR-15 or some drugs and everything, and you're going to use crypto. And you're on Tor, you're using crypto. You're not going to be able to be tracked. Newsflash, all of that shit is trackable. Very easy, not really difficult at all. Yes, your Tor traffic goes through hops, but guess who owns a lot of those Tor nodes? The government. Um, yes, after three or four hops, let's say, it's a little more difficult. Um, and you would probably have to be doing something really, really bad for them to invest the time to track you down. And for someone like me, they're going to find out it's going to lead to a dead end. Watch the Net with Sandra Bullock. Very important. Watch the Net. You'll learn something. And Mr. Robot. You have to watch it not for the entertainment. You have to watch it and pay attention to what's going on. And, the technology. What are they doing? How are they doing it? And everything. Yes, a lot of the screenshots and things you see, are automated. Their videos automated and everything. They're not really typing that quick. They're not really solving problems that quick. You know, when you're on a murder case and you send in a DNA sample and you get it back right away, because it's only an hour or so, um, results don't happen that fast. And the same with hacking shows. Hackers don't, you know, things don't operate that. They put into something, it might work, it might not work. They might have to troubleshoot. Might have to figure things out. And things take time. You just don't issue a command and get back and you're there. But it looks good on TV or movie or whatever you're watching it. But and like I said, you'll see me looking over here a lot. I got two setups, not a dual monitor. I don't have dual monitors. I have literally two computers, separate computers. Um, and there's more if you want to count the iPad and stuff. But the iPad has been moved out, and something else is used. We won't say what. But I look over here a lot. Now, I have Discord open on this computer. Um, that's because it's for this video. If on the other ones, I don't think I might have had it open once. I don't know, but anyway, normally it's open over here, but this time, and I keep it split. I keep half the screen with the Discord, and the other half screen is a program with about 8 terminals open in it, and that shows me network activity. That shows me my network activity, uh, things that are going on in some VMs that I got running and stuff like that. Some crawlers, search crawlers that I have doing research for me, and we'll get into that in a minute here. But anyway, he asked about mullvad VPN, and right down here he says, I've read a few instances of government request logs, and supposedly they have refused, but cannot confirm this. Um, so I thought, okay, let's show Corrido some stuff that's not involved in the trading. Now, also about the trading, you'll see my previous video, which kicks off in networking. It has a #1 number, basically number one, the first video. And any video that has a hashtag and a number, that means it's part of my training that I'm teaching you guys, free cybersecurity training from beginner to total mastery. Now, Sans Computer. You all should know, or you should, if you're getting into this field, you should know about Sans. They offer courses in cybersecurity. Very expensive. Very good. Good courses, but very expensive. Everything that's free, everything that's, Wikipedia, companies, if you're researching companies, there's company databases out there that are free that'll give you information, on the directors, investors, shareholders, and stuff, all that stuff and everything. And, you know, that's why I can tell you guys that your learning never going to end. It's going to be a constant thing because you're going to have to learn a lot of stuff if you get into this, because all information leads to money, leads to value somehow at some point, and that's the point of the pyramid that you're trying to get to. But first, you got to have all of this information. Look at the pyramid. The money is up here at the top. But first, you got to start gathering. The base of the pyramid is really huge, really vast, and you got to start gathering all this information from the top and start working your way up and sifting through it and combing through it, pulling out the important pieces and everything until you get up to the part that's going to make you the money. And that takes work. That takes that takes expert ability in Google dorks, because you can't spend time going down rabbit holes. You need to search and get to the point, get to what you want to know, and forget all the fluff, all the misdirections, and all the stuff that doesn't matter. Just because this search term that you searched on came up in an unrelated topic, but the word is there, and you didn't know how to filter that channel, that link out. We're going to get into that, like I said, later in the video. I don't know where. My videos are long, as you know, and apparently that's another reason that I'm continue with this philosophy of doing long videos, because all of my people like these videos, like these stories, like these things, because they learn, they're learning something they wouldn't learn in any other YouTube video, security video, because they're not hackers. You know, they're ethical people. They hack ethically and everything, and they don't know, as far as security and hacking goes and protecting against security, they don't know the first thing about it. It's like an NBA player coming into the league for the first time. He is absolutely excellent on knowing basketball. He went to college, he knows it, but he doesn't know the NBA. He doesn't know these big, strong men that their livelihood, they take care of their families and stuff by these millions of dollars and stuff that they're earning. And the strategy that's used in the NBA and everything versus college is a whole world different. And these kids coming out of college don't know that. They're getting there, and they know about the field, they know about basketball, they understand it, the plays, offense, defense, all that stuff. They know how to, but they never put it in practice at this level, out in the wild, let's say, at the pro level where it really counts, because the level of knowledge and skill and strategy and everything at this level is just beyond where they're at. And it's the same with you guys. You went to you took a cybersecurity course and everything, and the SANS course, the open source intelligence course. That's a $3,000 course. You know how many people? How many beginners can afford that? Not a lot. So this brings up another point. Down here on my Discord, I got a server, right? I mean, a channel here called Donations, and that has my PayPal donation link in it. And that's for anyone here on the in the Discord. That's for them to click on and donate if they want to. They don't have to. No one has to. This is not a course or anything. You don't have to pay monthly or anything. But if you want to make a one-time donation or something and help out and show love, that hey, I'm not just saying that I appreciate what I'm going to show you I appreciate what you're doing, and that's for them. On YouTube, I have another service, kind of like the Buy Me a Coffee service, but I'm not using that. I'm using another service also for different reasons. I like the other service better, and their analytics are better and stuff. But they allow me to change it, and I don't drink coffee. I drink Pepsi. See them? See, I always have. I drink about 2 liters of Pepsi a day, so I always have a Pepsi next to me, and that's what mine says. It says "Buy me a Pepsi," and that's to see where the more gratification and help comes from. Does it come from the strictly YouTube people, or does it come from the Discord people? Um, you can call it a competition if you want, okay, but it doesn't matter to me. Um, See, the problem is, I'm doing this for you guys to get people into the security industry because there's such a huge shortage, and I've said this over and over, and that's the only reason I'm doing it, because there's not enough qualified people to get into it. My eye is itching, and that's the problem with my eye. As soon as I itch it once, it goes on a kick to where it needs to be itched every 5 seconds. But um, you know, it's expensive to take these courses, so you're going to see me flinching my eye. I'm going to try not to scratch it as much as I can, but naturally it had to bother me in the video. As if I didn't have enough problems making this video already the first two times that I tried doing it. But I guess the world just doesn't want this video to get out. Apparently, I don't know what to tell you. The karma isn't working right. But yeah, a lot of people can't afford it, and that's why I think a lot of people have jumped on to my channel because I'm offering. For one, I'm a hacker. Well, you have to take my word for it, but I'm a hacker, ex-hacker, and I've worked in an industry both good and bad. In other words, I've been a very, very good offensive part of it, and now I'm a very good defensive part of it, and that's because I fully understand the offensive part. I know how unethical that hackers are. They don't follow rules. They don't have rules. There is no scope to them. You do a penetration test for a company, and they tell you this is the scope of the penetration. I'm like, what is this with scope? I don't want to hear about scope. Listen, if you want a real penetration test, done by someone like me, there is no scope. Your whole corporation is open. If that's not what you want, then go ahead and get your little ethical hacker company that's going to charge you $75,000 to do a meaningless BS fucking penetration test. Because that's not how the hackers are going to come in. And all the breaches that have happened recently is excellent proof of that. All of these companies have hired companies to do a penetration test on them and make sure that they're secure. And that's not how they got hacked. They got hacked a different way in. And the reason that was open because the company wanted that out of scope. Now, whether they did that on purpose, because there's benefits for them getting hacked, if they're big enough companies, uh, it all leads to money. But again, I won't get into that. People might call me a conspiracy nut when they don't even understand the term, but um, it happens. Everything is about money. Life boils down to money, my friend. Um, People kill for it. Divorces, spouses kill others. Spouses kill each other for the insurance money and everything. Everything in life comes down to money. Whether you want it to or not, whether you believe it does or not, that's the bottom line. So we're going to get into that, and we're going to dive into Credo's mullvad. Well, not that specifically, but that's because in my research when I did this, I come across something else that was interesting involving another company and mullvad and everybody else, because you would have to also do the same research that I did on this to into those companies also that don't show up in this research. With that, let's move on. What I want to talk about next before we get into the VPN, because like I said, that's the center of the topic, but I don't want to cover that right away because then people will watch the VPN stuff and then leave. And I'm not known for my short videos, and I'm known for my rambling. So apparently that's what people have liked. And for now, that's until they say differently, you know, or it's a training video. I won't do this into training. When I'm teaching networking or when I'm teaching programming or whatever, the subject will be about that. And these kind of videos that I'm doing now and what I've previously done, they're going to have their own playlist, you know, broken down into playlist names and stuff. So you guys can search on this one will be under VPNs and stuff like that. So you guys can search back in time later on down the road when you're like, oh, I need to hear that again. And you can go back and do that. But another thing that has come up is I'm an independent researcher, and people want to know, how do I charge people? How do I keep track of time? How do I know how much time I've spent in research? Because like this is something that I would research on my own, and I can because I'm independent, so I can research whatever I feel like researching. There's no limit to what I can do or how I do it, or even whether it's ethical or not. Um, I answer to no one. And my clients don't need to know how I got my information. They're paying for the information that I have. How I got it is no concern to them. What do do you want me? Do you want the information that I have, or do you want me to teach you how to do it? because that's two separate things. And the teaching part of it is going to be extremely expensive. You're going to make me rich if you want me to do that part. So, yeah, you probably just want the information, don't you? And so that's how that goes. And so that's what we're going to do. And like I said first, people want to know how I get paid. Well, I got to track my time when I'm doing these things. I got to keep track of each individual part and what the category that I'm going to bill under for that part and how much time I spent on that. So when it comes time that someone wants that information, look, I want to know about VPNs. They say that they, you know, are private. They won't release your information and everything. But is that really true? And everything. So I go back and I see how much time I spent researching this specific topic because that's going to be involved in my billing. Now, how do I do that without wasting too much of my time? Well, let me show you real quick. Real quickly, we won't cover all of this, but and this hasn't been. I took some stuff out of this one because I don't want you guys to see it, but uh, no, this is the date in Excel format, the 45/4/25, and the time when I started, when I end. And see, this is watching TV, Food Network, Guys Grocery Games. Right now, Bobby Flay is on. I'm drinking a soda. I keep track of my sodas, so I want to make sure that I don't drink too much. I want to drink about the same every single day so it's consistent. I don't need. A lot of people will say I have too much sugar in my body already at 2 liters a day, but I've been doing that all my life, so my body's used to it. It's standard operating procedure basically for my body. After 62, well, no, it's not 62. I started at about 16. So, but anyway, that's what this is all about. And this here is shortcuts. These are my YouTube channels that I have in different vendor stuff and all that, because each thing that I study and everything is attributed to that channel or that topic or global topic. By that I mean security, cooking, electronics, stuff like that, and all of that goes into an Excel sheet like this because my eye is still itching because it's comma delimited. So when I import it into here, it's a comma or CFC, it's comma delimited. So it separates in all the comma in all the categories you can see up here at the top and everything. And this is broken down into like here, and there's, right now we're in May. This will be June. This will be July. That'll be August when I get to them. This is a global breakdown. Like this is my sleeping. Well, here's my sleeping, and I break it even down further into night. This is 11 o'clock. That's because of midnight. Excel has a problem going from midnight, from 23:59 to midnight. If you got formulas in it, it has a problem figuring that out. So I make it easy for it by separate. But basically, everything is night, morning, and afternoon broken down into early, middle, and late, and all these are going across. But everything is up here. Anything that I do, I render for Blender and Dash. iRender is an online service. I don't have a powerful computer to do my huge and corn animations when I render them out because the computer that I use would cost about $25,000. Um, so I use an online service called iRender to do that, and they use a Threadripper PC or a Threadripper CPU, or I use it, in the cloud, but it's a Threadripper CPU with 256 gigabytes of RAM. And my eye is going, so don't pay attention to me scratching. But 256 gigabytes of RAM, and I can choose between a single RTX 4090 or up to 6 RTX 4090s. So, or I can get up to 8 RTX 3090s, and I can choose and pick. I can say, well, this is a huge project. I need to get it done quick. Everything. So give me the full 8. and I can do that. And the next time that I use it, I don't have to get to it. I can say, you know what, I can only deal with, I just need 14090 this time, and I can choose which one that I want and everything, and that's very powerful. You know, when I don't got to pay for, I don't have to pay for computers that are that powerful and stuff and stuff. But anyway, this tells me how much time I spent because it's a cost. These things can charge, depending on whether I'm using one graphics card or up to eight. It can cost anywhere from $7 an hour, all the way up to $40 an hour. Um, and I just charge my client that, plus a markup, obviously. But that's where that comes in. And everything, how much time I spend watching my our streaming. We got everything. We got Disney Plus, we got Discovery, we got Netflix, we got Paramount, we got Hulu, we got all of them. But anyway, that's that. Now here's the big one, and these are months. These are broken down into months, and these are all my channels from about right here at T, from from C to T are all my YouTube channels, and how much time has been spent on those. And everything else, reading, writing, uh, making money online, security, right here. Um, and this is broken down into other stuff. We can go over here at the end, and I can show you some courses. You know, you can see Udemy Masterclass Hack the Box HTTP. Hack the Box Academy. I've also got machines. There's Coursera here, Skillshare, Pluralsight, CBT Nugget, Packet Pub, uh, Coding with Mosh. But you see what that's all about. And here's the big one. This is where everything ends up. This monstrosity here. You can see I'm on column ON. And none of you need to know about this. Again, this is way off. This is not even related to security. Actually, this is related to music. Um, and then the nebula here, YouTube video research. But you can see how large this is. And this is actually, there's actually 18,666 cells that have something in it. And if we go, see, even the TV shows that we watch. See, here's Food Network. So far this month, we've watched 20 hours of Beat Bobby Flay, and that was a big one. In total, 35 hours of Food Network. So that's mostly Bobby Flay. We got IDH, the Murder Channel. We got Oxygen here. We watched 20 hours of Dateline, 31 hours of Snapped, uh, and that's about it. Like I said, this is the first month of this period. I've only got 3 sheets like this, and so you can see up here at the title 2024-2. That's because, like I said, down here, each sheet takes up 4 months. So 3 sheets is 12 months. I mean, 3 Excel sheets is 12 months. But this is Warp for Gaming, my AVN channel. So this is all about, all that. These are AVNs that I've watched or I've played, either way, how you want to look at it. Um, Even pro bono work right here. I got the poor filmmaker. When I do, each one of these will have this category. If I've done pro bono work for, graphic design or video editing, 3D modeling, music scoring, producing, all that. All these are broken down. Um, Renderosity. Renderosity is a 3D online porn asset site. It's mainly, it works strictly with DAS 3D. And there's people that make porn stuff, dungeons, you know, BDSM devices and stuff like that, gags, dildos, and they sell them, the 3D, and they sell them on there for people that just make the AVN. They don't do the modeling, They buy the models and they're everything already rigged, already animated, or all that stuff, and that's what they want it all done. All they want to do is get it and put it in their scene. And that's it. They want it really because they don't want to spend the time and doing all that stuff. They prefer someone else to do it, and they'll just buy it because they make enough money. And let me show you that. Now, I won't say exactly, what I make in this because my people are private. That's because it's BDSM related, and that subject doesn't do well in the public. People look down on that, but you get the idea of this. So let's jump over to that for now. And that's here. This is one of them. And like I said, these are only supported through PayPal or Subscribestar. I know this is a this has come up in chat, about, do I make money just on the security or how to, and this is what I do mainly, and it's covered, like I said, it's covered in a separate channel. But a lot of people want to know because people that follow my Blender channel, I've got probably $10,000 in Blender add-ons, and I've got software. I got Photoshop. I got After Effects, ZBrush, Marvelous Designer. And these are all expensive software. Maya, you know, IDA Pro for security, which is $1,000 program. So yeah, and they're like, how do you make all this money on everything? Is that strictly by like that? And I'm like, no, each topic has to support itself. But anyway, let's get back to this. You see Dark Cookie here. Summertime Saga. Now this is simple math, guys. He's got a $1 a month, a $5 a month, and a $10 a month. Now not every single person is going to be on the $1 a month because they want they want these all the added extra goodies that the rewards offer. And so you can see he's got 28,843 paid members. So even at the dollar level, he's making over $28,000 a month. At $5 level, he's over six figures. He's over $100,000 a month. And there's going to be a few people at $10 and stuff. So if you take all of these, does he got more levels? Yeah, he's got one more level. So he's got $20 now. So you average it all out and everything. He's probably anywhere from $60,000 a month to over $100,000 a month. And the same with this guy here, the Genesis order. You can see the women. These are all done in DAS, all these women and everything. But NLT, he's got 11,733 members, and he's got $2, $4, and $9. And he's got three levels. So his go all the way up to $23 a month for Grandmaster. But you can see the amount of money that's out there in this niche. The niche is crazy. It really is absolutely crazy. If you can do it, if you're good at 3D, if you're good at storytelling, and obviously all you guys that watch my videos, I don't need to prove that to you guys. I'm pretty good at storytelling. That's what the last 6 videos have been basically. But let's get started. Or should I get started? Man, my eye won't leave me alone. Let me check my terminals, make sure everything's operating as planned. Uh, eh, best as it could be. I got a scanner, or you could say a fuzzer, that's almost done. So I'll probably, after I get done with this video, I'll probably be diving into that and just seeing what it pulled out. I'll probably go more in depth into it tomorrow, but that'll be another research topic tomorrow, other than the VPNs here. But this will give you an idea of how my research goes and how I operate it. People want to know how I got into being an independent researcher. From the illegal hacker to the independent researcher and got government contracts. And I guess that could be interesting because there's another person, I won't mention his name, but there is another member in the chat room that also has a felony, but he wants to get into the industry. So he'll have to follow some path that I did. I can give him not necessarily my path, but I can give him suggestions on that. And because I'm experienced in that field, that area, because that's how I had to go. So now I know more about it than I did when I first started. Because I've went down that road already once. So I'm familiar with it and how it works and stuff. But it starts out with a shady background. Uh, I'm very good at math. See, I went to I went when I was in school. I lived in Anaheim, and I ended up going to Anaheim High School. But where we lived, we had elementary school from kindergarten to sixth. We had junior high from seventh to ninth, and then from 10th to 12th was high school. I know there's a lot of places. My wife, for instance, she said where she was at, there was no such thing as junior high. It was elementary school and high school. Some places are all one thing. You get, from kindergarten and you go all the way up to graduating high school, all in one school. Like it just depends on where you live and the neighborhood and where you grew up, and what city and stuff. Apparently, but anyway, before I got out of sixth grade, I was already doing infinite math, which is about a second year college degree, if you're going to college. And I was doing that at sixth grade before I even got into junior high school. So when I did was into when I was into high school before I could graduate, well, I never graduated, but when I was in 11th grade, um, a blackjack uh, a blackjack team owner got a hold of my scores and wanted to talk to me. And I'm like, cool. I mean, like, I don't know why a blackjack person. I don't even know such thing, but okay. And he explained to me how blackjack works, and he says we can beat the casinos. And I was like, "Oh, wait a minute." I'm like, the casinos can't be beat. Uh, what do you mean? Is this some you bullshitting me or what? Um, how can this happen like that? And he explained it. He's like, okay, you got a mathematical mind. He goes, let me explain it to you. And he explained it to me and everything. He goes, so doesn't that theory make sense? And I was like, okay, yeah. Um, if it can be done, it makes sense and everything. And he goes, well, give me a chance. He goes, why don't you come to Vegas and we'll spend the weekend and let me show you some things. And so I did. I took off from my work. I was making donuts at the time. Well, this time we moved to Chino, but again, that's another diversion I don't need to get into. That's another 30 minutes. But so I took off and went to Vegas and did all that, come back home, and I told my dad, you know, that I was thinking about doing, and this brought up a whole thing. You know, I'm sure kids that have been through this with their parents and stuff might know, but they got into a whole battle and fight. Tave, you guys gonna beat the, how many people have thought and tried and done it. What the hell is wrong with you kids? You're smarter than this. What the hell bullshit nonsense that this guy's talked into your head and everything. And I'm like, it makes sense to me, and so anyway, we left on bad terms, put it that way, and I'll leave it at that. And I got into my car and I drove to Vegas in my car at the time. It was a set 1976 Oldsmobile Cutlass. And so I came to Vegas and, got on the team and this and that and the other. And, you know, how it works is you get in charge of a team, let's say, just to make the numbers, easy for everybody. You got a pit of 10 tables, and there's probably maybe 5 or 6 pits in that area. There's a blackjack pit, there's a craps pit, there's a roulette pit. Each gambling thing has its own pit, and so a team goes in there and takes up the whole casino and the blackjack pit, the whole blackjack casino pit. One person goes to eat one table, so the 10 people will cover one 10 table blackjack pick, and the next 10 people will cover that one and everything. And we have about 100 people total, so we'll cover like 2 or 3 casinos. And at that time, not every casino knew that the game could be beaten. Uh, some casinos did know, and some didn't. So it was like it was at the ground floor of this. And there was a detective agency at the time, Griffin Detective Agency, that they specialized in card counting teams, and they offered their services, not cheap, mind you, to the casinos to help them track these card counters and stuff, and identify them in the casino. And that was hard. That's like intelligence in itself, because the team is controlled by one big player, or VIP, or asshole, whatever you choose. But um, every team, one VIP, player, he's in charge of the whole team in that casino. And this is where, when I got, naturally I got on the team. I learned very quickly. I graduated. Then I graduated again to teaching new people coming in on how to be on a team, how to do the table counting, how to count the cards, actually accurate, fast enough and accurately enough, because you got to count them as fast as the dealer deals them. And this is algebra. This is adding and subtracting and both positive and negative numbers. So you got to be able to do that and do it quickly on the spot. And so then I left that, and then I became a big player, or VIP, whatever. Each each team owner, you know, each has their own way of doing, their own hand signals, their own terminology. Some might use big player for their, main guy, or VIP, or captain. It's like a football team. They all have their own terminology to identify the plays and stuff. Split, cut, all that stuff. But this is where I learned about leadership and being an authority, being in charge, was running my own team, of 30 to 50 people, depending on, the size of the pit that we were at, or what casino we were at. And, I guess, it's also why I'm an asshole to a lot, because, I talk so loud. I talk with, such conviction and authority and, confidence. you know, I talk like my shit don't stink, and to me it don't. You know, what I say goes. I believe what I say fully, because I've studied it, I've thought it out, and everything. I've come to a conclusion. Yes, that conclusion is my opinion, but I still believe it until someone proves me wrong. And I don't care who you are. You could be NSA, you could be CIA, you could be God. You are not going to change my mind by just telling me something. If you want to change my mind or change my opinion, and it doesn't matter if I'm wrong. If I believe I'm right, even if I'm wrong. You'll have to prove it to me that I'm wrong, and that's just the way it is. I don't know what to tell you. You gotta, for you to do, for you to live your life the way, you gotta believe in yourself. You gotta believe that when you think about something and analyze it and draw a conclusion, and you say this is my answer, you gotta you gotta stand on that. For those of you that follow sports, and Perk on NBA Today, or Get Up, or First Take, he's got this saying called standing on business. You know, if you've analyzed everything, you come to a conclusion, and you say this is my answer, or this is my belief. You guys stand on business. You know, you hold that line until somebody or something proves you wrong. Not to where they say you're wrong, to where you look at the evidence and compare it against what you've already analyzed, and your own mind says, you know what, you might have screwed up here, because he's got a valid point over there. This kind of clashes with your information and what you drawn, and in other words, me, I make the choice. Okay, I was wrong. You know, I get it and everything, but no one's going to change my opinion for me. You know, you're not. They're not going to state their argument and say, "See, you're wrong." No, that argument didn't do it. You got to come up with. You got to come up better than that. Because my mind hasn't clicked yet and said, "Wait a minute." You know, he's got it. No, my mind says, "No, that guy's full of shit." Don't listen to him. His his opinion. I don't know where it's coming from, but yeah, don't pay attention. We're still right. We're still right. And you got to believe that. You know, you got to believe in yourself. People, that's the problem with the world. Everybody in the world needs to believe in themselves more. And that's the problem the world has. No one wants to believe in themselves. Everyone wants to please somebody else. Whether it's a dad, whether it's a mom, a boyfriend, an ex, an ex, or always somebody else. Never, they never want to please themselves. And that's the problem. But um, with that, I think we can get off that topic. And do I want to get into that? We'll get into people want to know how I got into security research. Um, do I want to try? Well, you know, this could be a test. Now that I got the video working right, I think it's going to be a long video, and let's just see how well people like an hour and a half or 2 hour video. But um, since I've failed the first two times, we might go ahead and make this a long video, and just see how well people appreciate the video and actually listen to the whole thing. And that'll tell me how the videos continue from here on. You know, it'll tell me whether you guys really like my ranting and raving and going on, or whether, like everything else, you're lying to me just to make me feel good. But we'll go ahead and cover it. People wanted to know, you know, how I think I said this just a bit ago before I went that on that digress, how I went from, you know, being an illegal hacker to being in security industry with a felony and everything. And like I said, that started with the blackjack. That got me into the whole secret thing, you know, because I had to play a rich person, you know, somehow, you know, because I've got all this money. And the casino wants to know, why do you have all that money? You know, so if you got a good fake identity, a good backup story that, you know, has depth to it. In other words, they can research it, you know, and call people and everything. Now these are all fake people. And there's someone fake playing your dad or uncle or whatever it is, you know, whatever you are. The whole story is, you know, made up, and everything's planned out for you, because the success of the team depends on this. Because you're going to get comped. They're going to fly you out there on the casino's private jet. You're going to ride the casino's limos out. You're going to go to the best restaurants. You know, you're what they call the high roller, or what's known in the industry as a whale. And they want to take care of you. They don't want you going to their competitor. They don't want you going to the other casinos and stuff. They want to keep you in their casino, spending all that money that you're spending. So it's very important that your whole cover, just like being in the CIA, and they, you know, and this is what got me when they did do background on me and found out things and stuff. This is what interested the government and Department of Defense companies and everything, because I was experienced in similar types. They're like, okay, well, he's experienced, you know, in, you know, cover stories and stuff. You know, he's lived it, he's been it, you know, he's done it live, you know, and everything, just like our agents do. You know, not in the same capacity, life and death or anything as our agents, but he's, you know, he still went that path and he's done it. He's familiar with it. He's used to being questioned and stuff, and, you know, being like a dick to people, whether it's a casino boss or casino owner, even. Yes, I told one time I told a casino owner, I got more money than you do. Shut the fuck up and get out of my face. And I said it just like that. And it's the saying it with conviction. You know, you don't say it like a timid person. You know, you got to say it so it hits hard. You know, when he's in your face like that and everything, you know, you got to look at it, you know, and say, you know what, just shut the fuck up. I could buy this place, all right? Get the fuck out of my way. And if you don't like it, I'll go to another fucking casino. How about that? And, sir, no, 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 sir, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And, that's going to get the video striked. But anyway, I might have to beep that out, guys. But, you get the point. You got to do that with conviction, with belief. So the other person actually believes you. And, and only a billionaire or a wealthy person would talk like that to someone that owned a casino or a CEO or something. No one else, there, there's no one else that has the balls to do that to somebody like that, because they'd probably lose their job. And, but, yeah, so you gotta do that, and you gotta stand on business, to put it mildly. But anyway, they're like, yeah, he's got the experience and stuff, and that's what kind of got me into going into that. But what really got me into it was I got into Billionaires when I got into hacking and everything, and I became good at it. Past 2000 and everything, and I said, okay, you know, now I'm somebody in hacking. I know my way around. What do I want to do with it? I'm like, how am I going to make something out of this? Worth anything? I'm a felon. I can't really work in the security industry on a job. So how am I going to make my skill valuable? Well, I need information that other people aren't aware of because that would be valuable. Okay, so what out there in the world would be information that, let's say, I want to be better than average? You know, what information can I go after that is really elusive, that really valuable, that's not really covered, published, or done or anything? And I came up with Billionaires. And so that's what I started going into. I started researching and learning about. That took me into finance, took me into economics, it took me into business management, wealth management, banks, central banks, the whole money supply chain and everything, and how money actually works in the real world. And then I started tracking billionaires. Now I started tracking billionaires that are specifically worth over $10 billion, because there's levels to billionaires, and there's levels to multimillionaires, and they're split. There's your multimillionaires and there's your billionaires. And if you're not a multi-billionaire, you're ghetto. By that, if you have a net worth under $30 million, you're ghetto. Yeah, you got money and everything like that, but in the world of big business, um, you're not quite there yet. You know, it's like keep studying, Padawan. You're getting there, okay? You're getting there. You're not quite there, but you're getting there. It's the 30 net worth of $30 billion that gets you in the door. 30 million that gets you in the door to a different world. It introduces you to people that you wouldn't be introduced to before. It gets you into parties, social elite parties and stuff like that, where you're networking with people that you wouldn't have been able to network. You wouldn't even be able to get into the same um, vicinity with and everything. Sorry, I just had dinner before I started this, so a little indigestion there. But it opens up doors for you, and this now you're on your way. You're making your way up. Now, some people get to a certain point and they're happy. Some people make it to 300 million, 400 million. Like Floyd Mayweather. Or some celebrity star like Tom Cruise and stuff like that. Either they make it to that level and they don't know enough to get higher, or they're just happy where they're at. You know, and nothing wrong with that. Taylor Swift just reached the billionaire mark. Okay, all power to her. That's how I'm just telling you, there's different levels and stuff. And at the $10 billion mark, This puts you in contact with very powerful people. This puts you in contact with dignitaries, heads of state, presidents, prime ministers. Um, you are able to pick up the phone and call a prime minister or a president or someone in charge like that and say, look, this is so and so. I need to speak to them on a matter because you haven't given me a call back. Because you're still going to get their gatekeeper. Um, and they'll say, sure, I'll relay the message. And is this the number he can reach you at? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, okay. And you wait because you're not going to wait more than an hour because they will return your call that quick within an hour, pretty much as soon as they get the message. And that's because it's a you scratch my back, I scratch your back type of thing. It's like, okay, I'm in a position of power, you're in a position of power with money, and maybe we can help somebody. We'll help each other here. I've got charities, I've got foundations, and everything, you know, which are a scam. But again, I'm not going to get into this. Is not an economics lesson or wealthy lesson or anything. But um, I could use some donations. If you could donate 100 grand or whatever, it'd be nice. And maybe I'll help you out. I'll listen to what you got to say. And naturally, you're like, sure, I can do that because the money's not nothing to you. You know, uh, I'm going to get into this in a minute, but Elon Musk got the kid that was tracking Elon Musk's plane. I was doing that before the kid was, but he's the one that made it public and everything with Elon Musk and Elon Musk getting pissed off about it. But yeah, that caused a big media scene and everything. And Elon Musk, well, he said he'd give him, $100,000 or something if he just take down his Twitter. Look, and the kid said no. He's like, no, you know what? This is fun. I like doing this. I ain't gonna do it. So Elon Musk said, fuck you. Okay, you don't want to take it down. I'll just fucking buy Twitter and ban you. And that's what Howard Hughes did the same thing. This is what billionaires do with the power. He went into a restaurant and he ordered something from the waitress, and got the wrong thing, and naturally, he threw a big stink about, and she got pissed off at him, and that pissed him off, and like that, and it didn't go very well. So he bought the whole restaurant chain, and fired her. And yeah, he bought a whole fucking restaurant chain just to fire one fucking employee that pissed him off. So, when you get into the big B, when you talk, people don't understand how much a billion is. Just 1 billion is a lot of money. But when you got multiple, you know, even five or six a billion, there you just do anything. You do, you don't even ask prices no more. If you want something, you just buy it. Yeah, that I'll take it. How much it costs? Irrelevant. Doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, that's how that happens. And so, and again, they say it with conviction. They're not bashful in anything they do or say. And that's just how that class is. And $10 billion is very important. So that was my cutoff. If you had a net worth of lower than $10 billion, I wasn't interested in you. I wasn't going to spend not 1 hour researching you, unless there was spillover. Unless I was one of the people that are worth over $10 billion and everything, had business dealings with you. Now that's a third party connection. So maybe my rich billionaire doesn't have any security vulnerabilities or everything's patched up, but he's doing business with this fluke over here, and maybe he's not so up on security, and maybe he's got vulnerabilities in his phone or his computer, his laptop, whatever, and or the restaurant he visits. He gets on their Wi-Fi, and maybe I can get into his computer by hacking into their Wi-Fi, and stuff like that. And so it's all reconnaissance, information gathering. That's your first part in your Kali Linux thing. When you put on the menu, first one is information gathering, intelligence gathering, whatever you want to classify it under. And that's why that category is so important, more than all of the others below it, because you need to know. Information is king. The more you know, the better you are. But that's why I focused in on that, and that got me into meeting a billionaire personally because I was tracking. He was on this big. I mean, it was literally like Wall Street. If you ever watched Wall Street, where what is it, not Tom Cruise, but who the fuck was that actor? Him, him and his dad. Fuck, Sean. No, not Sean Penn. Wall Street. Yeah, the wife helped me out there. I won't cut that out. Maybe I'll leave that in to give her credit. She's always come to my rescue when I forget shit, and I forget shit a lot. Um, but Charlie Sheen, you know, when Gordon, has his character followed, their target, to the hotel, the high rise, I think it's the sixth floor or seventh floor. You know, he follows him on his motorcycle, and everything, and they eventually end up in this fancy hotel, 5-star hotel, and everything. And he notices that he goes to the seventh floor, and again, you got to watch it because he's creative. I think he goes up to the bell guy, you know, no, or no, that was on the airport tarmac. Um, but same thing. He goes into the tarmac, and he's like, "Oh man, man," and the people that work on the tarmac are there, and he's like, "Hey, wait, 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 wait!" He's like, "You can't be out here," and he's all like, "Oh," he's all giving the acting part, he's all pissed off. He's like, "Ah, that was my boss and stuff. I got something for him. I need to give it to him before he takes a, and I was late. I got caught in traffic, and everything. I got." And he's like, okay, I'll get out your hair. I'll get out your hair. Where's that plane going? I gotta get there before, I gotta meet him there or get this to him before when he lands. And and the guy ends up to, because he doesn't know, he's a working stiff, he's just doing his job. So he's like, yeah, yeah, well, it's going to so and so, and he's like, oh man, you're a lifesaver, thank you, like that. Yeah, it's all about it's all about playing it out, playing it off, and thinking quick. He had to think quick. How can I get this guy convinced that I need to know where that plane is going? All that stuff had to work out in his mind really quickly, or else it wouldn't, it would look phony, and he would have been spotted. Like, I ain't telling you shit. You don't need to, get the hell out, get the hell off my tarmac. But he did the same thing to the hotel guy and everything. That's how I found out that he was going to the sixth floor and everything. And so he calls Gordon, who's at the back at the office, talking to his people and stuff, and he answers the phone. He's like, "Oh yeah, player, what's going on?" Well, yeah, I tracked him to so and so. They went up to the sixth floor, and Gordon knows, because he follows all his competitors. He follows the person that is actually on the sixth floor. The person they're following. They're well, they're supposed to be buddies. They're actually not. But again, that's intelligence. Everyone knows that your friend is never your friend. Your friend is probably your first enemy that's going to kill you. But again, intelligence is a different world, people. But so he knows him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's doing this. He's doing this the deal that and everything. And if they're meeting there and everything, this is what's going on, and they're probably going to and they're going to be investing into the. So we need to get into the stock. We need to sell it short, spread it out to all of our people. And again, that's getting into something that I don't want to get into, but with brokerage firms, and that's also getting into 2007, the stock market crash, and all why Lehman Brothers and all of them. Well, Lehman Brothers went bankrupt, and why the other ones had to be bailed out by the government, which pissed society off. They had protests and strikes and stuff. But anyway, you know, it's a crooked world, people. You guys, society just doesn't understand how crooked the world actually is. But Anyway, that goes into that, and that's what basically what I did, and it pissed him off, and so he started getting people very good. He has the money to track me down while I was doing my surveillance and everything. I didn't know, I was a little lax in my stuff there, but at one point I did. That's how we got contacted because one of his people actually tried hacking into my computer, and this panel over here that I keep looking at, um, that's how I knew something was going on because my program popped up an alert and said, "Well, hey, you need to check in. I've never seen this traffic before. You need to check in, look into it." And so I started, uh, and this is why I'm going to teach you guys the terminal because I started like in the movie. I started flying around in my terminal looking and trying to find out, okay, what the hell's going on here then? What is this? Who's this coming from? What country are they in? Basic first thing you got to do, you got to get an IP address and geolocate that IP address to what country is it first, and all that stuff. But yeah, that could be a movie in itself. That whole episode. But anyway, I found okay, someone's trying to track me down. So I thought, who could this be trying to track me down? Then I'm like, okay, well, who am I? Who am I targeting right now? And so that's how I put it all together. I said, okay, apparently he's got people after me trying to find out who I am. And so I just went ahead and reached out to him. Again, that's how arrogant I am. I figured it out. No one needed to bat me over the head. I'm like, okay, so you got someone trying to track me down and hack into my system, find out who I am and everything. Look, why don't we just cut out the middleman, cut out the BS, and we can go ahead and chat and talk to me and you together. Because obviously I've got information that you don't want anyone else to know. Um, and I'm comfortable talking to you over it. I've got no problem. I'm not bashful, and that's how we got together. Now I haven't seen him since 2021, I think. Yeah, 2021 was the last time I had contact with him, and I haven't seen him since. But it's a new world now after 2020. The economy has completely flipped, has changed. Things are not like they once were. People have lost businesses, lost jobs, lost careers. Um, you know, more people. A lot of people are working from home now. We've got friends like three or four or five friends that are working from home. I just found out another one of my friends I found out yesterday is working from home now, ever since 2021. And so yeah, it's a new era, a new thing going on. So I don't know what's going on with him, but I haven't heard from him since 21 already, and hope he's fine. I mean, nothing's happened. Well, nothing in the media has happened to him or anything. I know that, but whether he's still alive or not, who knows? If he wasn't, um, he's high enough for them to cover it up. You know, if, so I wouldn't know anyway if he was because I'm sure they wouldn't leak it to the media or anything. And the media doesn't know because he's one of those hidden, silent billionaires. He was never in the media. His family was never in the media and everything. He got to be. He's a self-made billionaire on his own, and he did it quietly. Which there's a lot of billion. The Forbes says there's 2,000 and almost 2,700 billionaires in the world today. There's actually more than that. There's just a lot of them they're not reporting. For instance, Putin, Russian leader. Putin's not on that list. And a lot of other dignitaries and prime ministers and people aren't on that list. So, yeah, that list is actually larger than that. And a lot of people on there that they don't want their name on that list. They want to stay private. Uh, you know, it's just the way that world works. It's all about secrecy and privacy, just like the hacker world. Same thing. But see, they're the ones that control the technology. So with that, I'm going to cut this one off. And well, no, actually, I didn't get to it. You guys want to know how I actually got into what I'm doing? What I did when I turned it to a independent security researcher, and that's interesting. That's important. For those of you that follow this far and everything. We can go ahead and cover that. So, you know, I guess we can dive. We can dive into it. I was debating, do I want to go any for longer? But like I said, time isn't. This is a test video to see if you guys really do like these long stories and stuff. I know I'm only supposed to cover VPNs, but like I told you, I don't know when in this video I'm going to start that. So this is why you got to watch the whole video if you want to know the actual meaning of the video. And to my people that are on chat that are serious, this stuff is important because it gives them in knowledge, insight that they're not going to get from anyone else on YouTube because they can't talk about this at the extent that I do. They don't have it. It's just not there. They're ethical. They don't have it. Oh, one thing I did wanted to say, speaking of ethical, when I brought that up, and why they're ethical. When I was a legal hacker, why I never got caught. Um, we don't use VPNs. Hackers, the good ones. Um, we do use cryptocurrency because you do got to get paid somehow. And cryptocurrency is a lot more, secretive, even though it can be tracking. It's a lot more secret than using just plain cash or plain PayPal or your bank account and everything, because that's out in the open. That's easily trackable and has a record trail and every paper trail and everything. But as far as VPNs, Tor, and stuff like that, we know that the government owns, not, I wouldn't say half, but they own a lot of Tor nodes, and strategic places, to where your traffic's going to end up on at least two or three of them, but, not on every hop. So for them to actually track you strictly through Tor, more than likely they're going to track you through Bitcoin. That's how all the markets on the dark web got caught. You know, was either they caught them and they caught them while they were at their laptop and they were still logged into their admin account on the market, or they tracked them through their Bitcoin. Um, for if they don't, if you got your Bitcoin all tied up and tidied up and private and anonymous, as can be. It's not going to be 100%, but what you're doing is you're having them invest a lot of time and resources into actually tracking your Bitcoin because of the shit that you went through in hiding it. Um, I could say tumblers and washing it and stuff, but it's more than that, really. And it's more than Monero. Monero is trackable to an extent, but there's been people got caught on Monero. And again, you can use the Google Docs that you're going to learn here in a minute that on the VPN that I'm going to show you guys. But if you want to get into getting into studying that and everything, you can use some custom Google Docs and stuff and dive down that rabbit hole if you want. But um, I'm going to tell you one way. I told you guys about living in the ghetto, living in a weekly, and everything. Chances are you're not going to get caught because cops are they don't like coming to the ghetto for one, just on their own. They prefer not to if they can help it. Um, and the people that live in the ghetto don't want them there because they're also doing nefarious stuff. So we don't want you around where we live and everything because we got shit going on in here. We're selling drugs or we're making drugs or whatever. You know, and so it's a perfect cover. When you hack into one of their computers and use their computers, but there's more to it. See, I'm legal now, and there are friends of mine and people that I've met on the internet that know what I do, especially when get into tracking sex trafficking, or I volunteered to do work for Trace Labs when they asked for it, like I said, but they're like, I believe in your cause. You're yes, some bad things with hacking and computers and stuff and everything, but you're using it for good, and I can hang with that. And they'll give me a computer, or I can if I if I have to, I can send them one of my own, a laptop, and they'll connect it to their home network, and it's just mine in their home wherever they're at, and I could ship it to them. They don't even have to be in the same state. They don't even have to be in the same country. I can set up a VPN tunnel between me and my laptop wherever they're at and everything, and that's a jumping off node for me. And so nothing comes from my computer. I can buy a VPN service for that computer, not here, but I do use one here, and I've said that in my in here before. One of the main ones I use is NordVPN. Now, like I said, I don't put any faith into them and everything, but they do encrypt, and everything, and so to an extent, I know, but I also know that past my computer, um, it gets fuzzy then because they don't know where my other computer is, and yeah, that could be trackable, but again, I'm using a system that they don't know about. I'm using an encryption algorithm on top of NordVPN. It's kind of like my own onion router. I made my own, I'm a programmer, so I can do that. But I made my own system, on my computer that encases my traffic before even the router, the VPN service gets to it. So what they do to my traffic, they do on top of what I've already encrypted. And so even if the NordVPN does decrypt what they're going to find that they're not going to actually find my data. They're going to find the first onion scan of my encryption. And so, and this is not, you know, solo to me. All of us. I guess you could say elite hackers if you want to, but it's not really elite. Like I said, we're developers. We're familiar and comfortable with every language out there. We could do it in any language. We could do it in Go. We could do it in C++. We could do it Java. We could program something like that in any language we want. Um, but that's one thing that covers it. And like I said, my computers are never. I don't have any hacking done. Well, I do it here, but the actual hacking is done on a computer somewhere else. Where out? It depends. I've got 4 or 5. Well, I had at that time, and we didn't even live here at that time either. I had 4 or 5 people that I had locations for that I could get into their computers and use their connection and stuff from their location. And there are some places that got caught on down the line, but they never really traced it far back enough to even find them. Or the second jump, not their computer, but the second jump that I jumped to from there. Again, watch the net. You'll learn about this. Even the second jump, they didn't even find that. And yeah, there's multiple. There can be a. It's up to you, and how you work your routing. But yeah, you can bury yourself under 10 hops if you want before you actually get out on the internet and start going to your actual target website or whatever it is you're going to. But that covers that. As far as being how hackers are never caught, the good ones and stuff, and how to. That's just one way. And that's how I did it. Uh, a couple others, like I said, have also lived in the ghetto and not done that, but have done something kind of similar. But with that, what do we want to jump to next? Are you coming over here? Oh. But I don't need to. I clicked on this one, and that took me. Well, you can see right here, Ycombinator. That took me here to this bulletin board, I guess, if you will, and you can see how big this is. I got to sift through this, but somehow, you know, ExpressVPN and uh, Turnover and Subpoena, were in here, or one of them, and that's how I come up. But anyway, I use my search function, find, and that's what led me to this link right here. When law enforcement knocks on a VPN's door, what happens? And I read it for one. I read it all first, and then I went through the links, and everything, and that took me to this article on TorrenFreak, and this is a questionnaire that they posed to all of the big major VPNs out there. Now, if I talk weird, that's because my gums are sore right now. Like I said, I don't have a lot of teeth, in my mouth, and again, that's you know from prior things in my life that kind of ruined my teeth. But again, that's another story. But this here is a questionnaire that they posted to them, and some providers answered it and sent it back to them, and some providers just flat out refused. They didn't send it. They didn't want to answer the questions. But there's a catch here. Of the people, or of the companies that did answer, the vast majority of them lied. And that's provable in articles on the internet. Again, if you get into your deep diving on dorks and dig in deep to try to find these court cases and these articles on these companies and stuff where it has been published by the media that they've been caught in this and everything, you can find it. And that's what happened with me. I searched one particular one, CyberGhost, right here. See, this is I went to the link provided by, and I'll show you them in a minute. But this is their questionnaire, and this is CyberGhost's answers. And you can see it from the first one. Do you keep or share with third parties any data that would allow you to match an IP address and timestamp to a current or former user of your service? If so, exactly what information do you hold or share, and for how long? And they answer, Ghost has a strict no log policy, so none of our traffic or DNS servers logs are stored. And this is getting, they're going to bring up terminology for you guys that the no logs. There's computers that when the server connection is made, it just goes into RAM and it operates there, and it goes out, leaves their computer from there. Nothing physically gets stored on the hard drive. That's been proven wrong. They use kill switches, and DNS leaking, and they all that stuff, and all that stuff's been proven wrong, and and everything. And like I said, this takes research. It takes time for you guys to get into this. And here's the biggest one of all. What is the name under which your company is incorporated? Plus or include parent companies if applicable. And under what jurisdictions does your company operate? Well, CyberGhost has been part of Cape Technologies, a leading privacy first consumer software provider since 2017. Well, this Cape Technologies, this is actually a company that they took over the company. Before it was Cape Technologies, it was actually called Cross River. And this is a very, very sketchy company. But here's a story on them. Like I said, when you do more research, it'll lead you to this. Restoreprivacy.com. Cape Technologies, formerly Cross River, now owns ExpressVPN, CyberGhost, Private Internet Access, ZenMate, and a collection of VPN review sites. So, for you guys that are looking up VPN reviews on which uh, VPN you want to use, now you guys know that are watching this and have watched this far. Can you ever trust a review site again after I just showed you this? Kind of hard, isn't it? Kind of hard to put any faith in that. All right. Like I said, I don't. There's no need for strikes here, YouTube. I'm not. I'm not divulging anything that's not already published. This stuff is. I just found it. That's all. This stuff is out there on the internet. But it says Cape Technologies, formerly Cross River or Cross Rider, has now acquired 4 different VPN services and a collection of VPN review websites. And you can get into reading this, you know, but they get into sketchy stuff, cross browser development platform, and everything. A story here. Below is an excerpt from Malware Bytes article that discusses how Cross River malware infected devices through software bundles. And this is adware injection bundles is what they're talking about. And it injected into Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, sometimes Opera. And CrossRider now only targets Windows and Mac. But you keep reading and you get to know how sketchy all this is. Right here is the ad injectors, how sketchy this is. But here's the big part that caught your eye probably. These ex-Israeli surveillance agents hijack your browser to profit from ads. And the main investor behind Cape is Teddy Sagi, an Israeli billionaire who previously spent time in jail for insider trading. But this happened all the way back in 1996, early in Sagi's career. He acquired Cape Technologies in 2012 and is an investor in many other industries. Sagi is also named in the Panama Papers, for you guys that have done research and know about that details a rogue offshore financial industry. Another key figure behind Crossrider, Cape is Kobe Manashimi. Forbes wrote an interesting article with a link right there detailing ties to the Israeli intelligence and cyber espionage. So that's kind of interesting. But here's another interesting thing that caught my attention. And I already knew this because I researched this already years ago. But um, right here, Teddy Sagi, a serial entrepreneur and ex-con who was jailed for insider trading in the 1990s. His biggest money maker to date is gambling software developed by Playtech. Co-founder and CEO Kobe Beneschetti was part of Unit 8200, where he was a developer for 3 years. What went unnoticed until now is that most of the searchable organizations involved in this potential dangerous business are based in Israel. And Israel is a close ally with the USA, But they also happen to have links to the nation's military and its top signal intelligence agency, which is Unit 8200, by the way. The Israeli equivalent of the NSA or GCHQ, Unit 8200, which works out of the Israeli Defense Force or IDF. Now, for those I know this already, but I'm going to show this for you guys. Unit 822. You guys saw in my previous video my APT Excel sheet for all the advanced persistent threats that I tracked. When I got into malware and all that, and attributing malware to particular authors and countries and stuff like that. Well, what do you think would happen if I put Unit 8200 or I did a search on that in my Excel program? What do you think will happen? Well, let's put it to the test, shall we? You guys have lasted this long. Okay. Hopefully that works. If not, you guys are stuck watching this screen. Uh, but hope it should work. But the way things have gone today, who knows? But here we are in my APT groups. So let me bring it up. And see, I had it all set up for you already. Unit 8200. So we'll hit enter. And here we are. Oddly enough, 8200, and oddly enough, we're on Israel's tab. Amazing how that works, isn't it? But we also got operations, the Olympic Games, and Stuxnet. Yes, that's the big thing about Unit 8200. They were in partnership with the USA. They made the Stuxnet virus that attacked Iranian nuclear centrifuges and destroyed them. That was also in the news. Do some googling, searching on that, and everything. You'll find out about that. Targets directed at Iranian nuclear facilities. The MO Stuxnet is typically introduced to the target environment via an infected USB flash drive. And what they did is they had people that would go around the nuclear facility and just drop these flash drives down, just on the floor or ground, bushes, whatever. Just start dropping them down and like that. And obviously, some curious bastard, or might have to beat that out. Some curious person is going to pick one up. Well, what's this? You know, what is on? I wonder what's on this. And he's going to put it in his laptop. Well, obviously, his laptop is connected to the network for the nuclear plant, as most all workers are. And they didn't have it secure, obviously. Now, comments here are interesting. Genesis Group, a venture capital firm funding NSO groups with $1.8 billion for a 30% stake. NSO Group members are ex members of Unit 8200, an Israeli intelligence corporation. And I can do more. We're going to say right here, you can see there's only 3 searches that where Unit 82 comes up. And that's the first one, and that's over here, and that's right here, which is also linked to another malware named Dooku Group or Actor Group. Right here, targets. A threat actor using a tool dubbed Dooku 2.0 targeted individuals and companies linked to the P5 plus one is Germany, the 5 permanent member states of the UN Security Council plus Germany, which was conducting negotiations on Iran's nuclear program. So you can see this whole operation was had a specific target, which was Iran's nuclear centrifuges. Um, so yeah, that's what that was all. And this and this guy is the guy that's buying up all these VPNs. Can you trust them if you're using one of those services? Do you want to trust this organization? Um, but yeah, you can go on and keep reading this article. Uh, I'll link to it in the description. But yeah, this is the big climax of this video, or the intended purpose of it was the VPN that I just showed, and that pretty much covers everything. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to say in this. We done a lot of digression. You guys got entertained and picked up a lot of stuff, and hopefully this is recorded correctly. um, and I'm done with the video. Hopefully all I got to do now is edit it and upload it. But with that, um, we're going to go ahead and shut it short. And anything that I did forget, I'll cover probably at some point in a different video. Or you guys can remind me in chat. But with that, we're going to call it a day. It is 8:30 at night here now. And we'll probably see you guys in chat tomorrow or later tonight if I'm still up. We'll see how the night goes, how my editing goes. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know, comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, join us in chat, and all that good stuff. Until next time, guys.